Let's see here. I'm sorry that you had to... Oh, am I on? I'm sorry. I'm answering hate mail and apologizing for that last newscast that Joan Jones just did.
Uh-oh, what did I do?
Joan?
What?
People are making formal requests. Do not, in big capital letters, play any more audio from Cori Bush this morning.
I know.
My word.
Didn't it make your ears bleed?
It was like...
Can I tell you it was longer than that? And I pulled down the sound because I couldn't stand it.
So we shouldn't be apologizing. We should be saying you're
Thank
welcome.
You. Yeah.
We should be saying you're welcome because we didn't play the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like old Cori Bush out there in Missouri. It sounds like she is a sore loser. That's what it sounds like. And I can't imagine. She is such a... It's Missouri, right?
Yes, Missouri. Yep.
She is such a repulsive individual.
Yes.
You know, she is the hardcore anti-cop, pro-illegal alien, pro-Hamas. It's all the things.
She's the one that has no hair, right? Yeah.
No, that is Ayanna Pressley.
That's Ayanna Presley.
Ayanna Presley is out of Massachusetts. Cori Bush, she's just... There's no other way to describe her other than repulsive. I'm just telling you.
She lost so miserably.
Did she really?
59 to 37%.
Well, okay, so I don't know anything about the race. I don't know anything about her primary loss to Wesley Bell. If Wesley Bell is, you know, a hardcore progressive DSA kind of a person.
Yeah.
So I wonder why Cori Bush lost. I mean, she's kind of, you know, generic, you know, vile, horrific DSA, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, why did she lose other than the fact that she's just kind of gross?
Well, Wesley Bell made an issue. First of all, Cori Bush made an issue of him getting AIPAC money. That was her big thing. Oh my gosh, he's being,
okay.
you know, this is the Jews are coming, that kind of thing. But Cori Bush, Wesley Bell, accused her, now get this, of opposing the things that Kamala Harris had wanted. So he said, you called her a fascist at a time, this is from CBS News. Mm-hmm. Bell accused Bush of calling Harris a fascist in comments that she made 2 years ago in an interview with Al Jazeera TV, in which she said, what I'm hearing is people say, well, we're talking about fighting fascism. We don't need the fascism that comes along with the Donald Trump presidency. But I feel like I'm seeing fascism right now with a Joe Biden presidency and a Vice President Harris presidency. So her opponent in this race, Wesley Bell, was saying that, oh, you were opposing Kamala Harris, and that's a bad thing.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Why did she call... Like, what was her reasoning to call Kamala Harris and Joe Biden fascists?
I'm not really clear.
Impetus?
You'd have to go back and find that interview.
Oh, that's
on
okay,
Al Jazeera
Joan.
TV. No, yeah, I know.
I've had quite enough of Cori Bush.
Yes, I agree.
Anyway, so I'm answering all of the hate mail at 5:06, and I'm
Sorry, folks. If I have to hear her,
so do you.
So do you.
Very good. Can I just figure this? I'm trying to figure out. So, Abdul El Sayed.
Yes.
So, I've got some outlets reporting, including CBS, that is saying that he won the primary.
Correct.
Fox News, at least when I was coming in at 4 o'clock, I listened to them at the top of the hour, and they had not declared him the winner yet in Michigan.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so. Did he win or not? It was really close. I don't think people realized that it was going to be so close, but you've got some media outlets saying that he won. Other media outlets are not there yet. So
okay. Fox News has a tradition of waiting. They're never the first to announce anything. They're never the first ones to, when you are hearing about a mass shooting somewhere, Fox News will be the last one to report on it. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they want to get it right before they get it first, right? Mm-hmm. That's more important, which is why voters were so angered when Fox News claimed, what was it that they claimed early in the voting?
It was a state. Was it a state
yes,
or was it?
Arizona or Nevada?
I think it was. They claimed there was some numbers that came out. They went with it like way early.
Yes.
And people who are Trump supporters were like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? It's way too early for this, because then ultimately what that does is that some will say acts as voter suppression, because then people are like, well, if Harris won, whatever it was, this early, I forget when it was. I mean, I remember this story. Was it 2020? It wasn't 2024. It was, I think, 2020 or 2016. But anyway.
Arizona for Biden.
Okay, was it Arizona for Biden?
Yeah, so if you look it up, it says Fox News famously called Arizona early for Democrat Joe Biden on election night, November 3rd, 2020 at 11:20 p.m. Eastern Time, with roughly 73% of the vote counted. It was the first major network to make the call, sparking immense controversy, anger from the Trump campaign, and skepticism from other media outlets.
Yeah, because if people see that Biden won Arizona, then in other states, they'll be like, well, if Biden won Arizona, there's no reason to go out and vote.
Right.
You know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, I remember that. That was a huge thing.
So, yeah, I mean, Fox News does not do anything first. And I agree with that.
I agree with that policy, too.
With that policy, yes.
Yep, I totally agree with that.
You know, it just made me think about how they handled that on election night. And, and now they're doing what they normally do, which is hold off until they have all the information.
All right. Well, I mean, by most media outlets, Abdul El-Sayed has indeed won the primary in Michigan for the Senate. He is going to go against Mike Rogers if those numbers do hold. And so now the question is, okay, so what is going to happen in the general election? I've got some more on this straight ahead. It is 5:15. By the way, I've got a lot of stories today, including, you folks knew who Perez Hilton is? I had to explain this is a shocker, Joan. So I had to explain to Sam.
No way.
Who Perez Hilton was. You knew who Perez Hilton was. I knew who Perez Hilton was. Well, this is it's a bit of a disturbing story. We're going to talk about it coming up as well. Got a lot of stories here for you. The latest on Iran, the latest on the WNBA. We've got a full thing on politics. There's just a lot going on today. Some China in the news as well. Let's see. Here we go.
This is an NBC News special report. I'm Steve Kornacki. American voters in 5 states hit the polls on Tuesday, and I've got some major results to share with you, starting in the state of Michigan, where Abdul El-Sayed has won the Democratic primary for the United States Senate. He defeats Congresswoman Haley Stevens. This was a very close race here. You can see there are still a scattering of votes to be counted, but El-Sayed currently leading Stevens by 2 points out.
Yep, so that was the announcement early this morning. So, of course, what is going on in that all-important Democrat Michigan primary? We've been talking about this. Abdul El-Sayed and Representative Haley Stevens. This really does define what direction the Democrats are going to go in moving forward. This pits the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, which is El-Sayed, and Representative Haley Stevens. She is, of course, more moderate. They're calling this race kind of a bellwether as to which side controls the party, the socialists, commies, or the mainstream, or the moderates, if you will. So the Republicans, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while now. The Republicans, I don't know, they've got to be, I think, pretty giddy right about now, because the mainstream of America, they're not where the DSA is. They're simply not. So the Republicans have been talking about how they're really looking forward to running against El-Sayed in the general if he wins, which it does appear now that he has.
Is there a be careful what you wish for aspect to this for Republicans if El-Sayed does win, if he is proving himself as an adept candidate?
Well, look, you never take anything for granted, but obviously he's much further to the left, much farther outside of the political mainstream. I mean, you talk about the world being in chaos. During the campaign, a leaked audio from his campaign came out, Abdul El-Sayed, in which he was worried about commenting on the death of the Ayatollah because he didn't want to offend his supporters.
Wow.
Yeah, the world is in chaos, and this guy can't figure out what side of the ball he's on. And so I think Republicans look forward to running against this because there won't be a brighter line than between Abdul El-Sayed and Mike Rogers.
Yep, that's what I've been saying. Hey, you want to do a Daily Dan poll this early in the morning? Sam, let's do, are you glad that, you figure out a way to do this, Sam, but basically the bottom line is, are you happy that El-Sayed won, thereby defining the Democrats as socialists? What do you think, Joan?
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, personally, I'm glad that he won because this really does show the difference, a huge difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. We can talk all day long about, the war in Iran and some of the other things that are going on, and some things that, frankly, may not be going all that well for the Trump administration. But at least we're not, defund the police, abolish prisons, confiscate wealth, no borders, and welcome all illegal immigration. At least we're not that. So, yeah, is the war in Iran, do we wish that was over? Do we wish that, things were going better there? Absolutely. But when you look at the other side of the aisle and the train wreckery that is the Democrat Party, the Democrat Socialists of America, this is a line that, at least for, many Americans, as they're just now starting to pay attention to the midterm elections, they're going to be like, wait, what do they stand for? They stand for defund the police and no borders and dissolve ICE and abolish prisons and soft on crime policies and defund Israel. And, I'm going to air quote this, economic justice, which means tax the rich into oblivion. So the Democrats, of course, they, as a whole, also support men in women's sports. Now, this guy, and Joan and I had a big conversation about this earlier because people say he is a physician, but Joan, you're saying that he's not actually a physician. He worked.
He's a public health. He was a public health official.
But is he like a doctor, like Jill Biden is a doctor?
I
don't even know.
He actually went to.
Do you know what my question would be? So if he is a physician, and I don't know if he is or not, I don't care. Because apparently he can't tell the difference between a man and a woman, right? Because no doubt he is all for, as far as the left goes, he's all for men in women's sports. And the Democrats are all okay with, men being in women's locker rooms and bathrooms and so on and so forth. So that's what he stands for. So I have
an explainer here about the whole doctor thing.
Uh-huh.
He holds a Doctor of Medicine degree from Columbia University. Yes, he holds that degree, which is much more than anything Jill Biden ever held in her life. And also a doctorate in public health from Oxford University. But he never completed a traditional clinical residency or practice. He
went through all of that,
yes.
And he decided never to actually take the extra, I don't know what it takes, a year or two of medical school,
Correct.
Whatever.
Yeah. He focused his career instead on epidemiology, public health leadership, and public service. So he was never a traditional doctor. He didn't do the residency thing. He didn't follow through. That tells you a lot.
So a physician is somebody that actually sees patients.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he also, by the way, claims that he is not a member of the DSA, Abdul El-Sayed.
Yes. What? Are you kidding me?
It's gaslighting.
Oh, my goodness.
It's gaslighting. So here's the question. Do the Republicans, really want to face him in the general election as they try to pick off this seat? Because remember, this is one of those seats that they're trying to convert. It's a Democrat in Michigan who decided that he wasn't going to run again. And so that left the Democrats vulnerable to losing this seat. So then enter Abdul El-Sayed and Mike Rogers, the congressman. Rogers, by the way, has been around for a long time. Shermichael Singleton, who is a Republican strategist, says absolutely we want to run against Abdul El-Sayed.
Well, we're hoping that Democrats make the catastrophic mistake of electing El-Sayed, and I'll tell you why.
They did.
He may not identify as a Democratic socialist, but there's a reason every single Democratic prominent socialist in America is endorsing his candidacy. There's a reason why when you look at polling, segmentation of voters, older African-American voters are not registering and supporting him in high numbers. Blue-collar, non-college degreed Michiganders are not supporting him in high numbers. And so if you're a Democrat and you're trying to figure out your micro-targeting, where can you pull the coalition together to beat a Mike Rogers, who, by the way, only lost by 19,000 votes against Alyssa Slotkin several years ago, the closest Senate race in Michigan history, you have got to be nervous about whether or not this guy can pull together that traditional coalition that Kieran is definitely familiar with as a Democrat to get him across the finish line. I'm not convinced that he is. There's a lot about this guy and his views that have not been revealed to Michiganders on a broad scale yet, and I promise you we're going to target him hard and heavy.
Well, that is a target-rich environment, of course. $60 million was poured into this Senate race, and it was clear the Chuck Schumers of the world, the more moderates of the left, wanted El Said to lose. But, you know, the Democrats, they've got now another race that has been won by a socialist. And remember, this was supposed to be the benchmark. This was going to be the race that defined the Democrat Party. And even though it was close, it was very close, El Said has now won. Another big part of this dynamic, by the way, and we've been talking about this for a long time, is that Hassan Piker, this repulsive, anti-Semite, vile streamer, has been campaigning with him. And so they, of course, have been talking about who is Hassan Piker.
But how did he close his campaign? It's a very insightful. He spent the day campaigning with Hassan Piker.
This is Karl Rove,
who said America deserved 9/11. If you're worried about Medicare fraud, you ought to kill Senator Rick Scott, a former health care executive. He said the Hamas attack on Israel and October 7th attack was Israel's fault, and the use of rape by Hamas didn't change the dynamic for him. And he then has mocked Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw of Texas, a decorated war hero who lost his eye in a firefight in Afghan. He mocked him by praising the guy who took his eye and tried to kill him. I mean, this is how El Said, how left-wing and out-of-touch El Said is with sort of working-class, blue-collar, middle America Michiganders. In my opinion, why this is going to be an excellent shot for the Republican pickup if El Said wins the nomination tonight.
Well, and he did. That's Karl Rove. Karl Rove, by the way, still using that little, what do you call that, easel board? That little thing that he writes on?
It's so frustrating. I hate that he does that.
Still, after all these years. Yeah. Does he not know that they have, like, graphics now in television that they can, whatever. All right, so real quick, Sam, so how did we frame the Daily Dan poll on YouTube? By the way, if you could, watch us on YouTube, watch us on Facebook, like and subscribe. Watch us at 997WTN.com, Twitter, Twitch, all the things. So YouTube, Daily Dan poll, how did we frame it?
Are you glad Abdul won, proving the Dems are completely radical? Yes, watch them self-implode. Or no, it's a sign of worse to come. With yes, watch them self-implode, meaning you're glad he won at 55%. It's kind of split. Yeah,
so that's a good split. So the question is the rest of America as insane as the Democrat Socialists of America? That's ultimately, part of what is inside of that question. So thank you, Sam. And it is time for
Joan's World, party time. Excellent.
Wow.
Well done, Sam.
Sam, nice job.
Okay, so Sam has been working on that for how long, Sam?
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You don't understand how hard it is to track down the original file that is just
Well, so the company nor the host would spend the $30 for Suno, which is a jingle making app or whatever it is. So Sam has been working very hard on the free version. Thank you, Sam. So you want to play it one more time just to make it worth it?
Yeah.
Joan's World, party time. Excellent.
I love it.
That's actually very funny.
Awesome.
Good job, Sam.
Yeah.
All right, so it is time for Joan's World. So I have not heard these stories as of yet, so I'm going to react to them along with you folks. Joan, go.
Okay, so do you know who Nate Friedman is?
No.
Okay, he's an independent journalist, Nate Friedman. I guess he's in Michigan, lives in Michigan. But he's a viral independent journalist, high-tech high-profile tech executive as well.
Got it.
He had been the CEO of GitHub for a while. So he's known now for his journalism, and he has gone out to a store in Michigan, and he said, quote, "In my 2 years of reporting on the ground, this is the most shocking footage I have ever taken. Our country is becoming unrecognizable." And
If
here
you
he
were to
is.
do grocery shopping here in Dearborn, this is what you would see. In my 2 years of reporting on the ground, this is the most shocking footage that I have ever taken.
So he's
Our
walking
country is
through
becoming
the store.
unrecognizable. I
And
will play this footage without commentary and let you experience
every
it.
single person is
in a hijab,
in a hajib.
Lots of kids around them. He even goes, and he's just they're all the workers
Yep.
are also Islam.
Everybody's in a hajib.
Everybody, and
trying to-
some
I'm
of them
trying
in
to
the
see some of
kind,
the-
some of them are the kind where you see nothing of the woman.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. She's like,
Yeah.
hey, and how fun do you think that is in August?
Oh my gosh!
Like
That's why
I
they
would.
picked Michigan, though.
What's that?
That's why they picked moving to Michigan.
Yeah,
It's probably pretty mild in August.
I think some of these signs are also in Arabic.
so a lot of the products on the shelves are
Halal.
halal
Yeah.
products. And there's even now he gets to a point where there's a shop in the there it is. Do you see it? Oh, I'm a little behind on the feed.
Yeah,
here,
but you are. But it's but I'm at the halal marshmallows.
yeah. Okay. Just before that, there's a shop, like a clothing store inside the grocery store
Taiba.
where the women can go and buy their
Hijabs.
hijabs.
This is
And-
what happens when an entire community, I'm going to say, allows itself to be overrun by Islam or Muslims, but this is what happened. I mean, people moved in and they took over. We've talked about this a lot, where you'll have these folks move in, and we saw the same thing in Minneapolis, where they come in. And then what happens, and we've seen this in Michigan yesterday during
property
the primary.
values spiral.
Yeah,
I mean,
where they come in and then they vote. They know how to vote.
Yep.
So whether we're talking about the Somalians in Minnesota or the Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, this is what is happening to Michigan as a whole, and particularly in Dearborn, which is
so there is one
very well known
candidate in Tennessee who is hoping that he is aiming to make sure that this doesn't happen here in Tennessee.
Who's that,
That's
Joan?
all I'll say.
Who's that, Joan?
That would
No,
be
go
Monty
ahead.
Fritz.
Everybody knows. Joan,
Monty Fritz is saying no Islam, no mosques. Take them all out.
Jones in the tank for Monty Fritz.
Huh?
And by the way, I got to tell you that he's got a lot of great points on that. So
Yeah. So the next,
I was going to say, as does all the evidence of what happens when they overtake a community.
yeah.
the question is, how do you get around that pesky Constitution where they have freedom of religion? And by the way, I'm not doing this now. So next.
Okay, so the next one is related. This is people who have stormed a town council meeting in North Carolina because there is a proposed 5,000 square foot mosque that's going to be built in Mooresville, North Carolina. They were not told that this mosque was going to be built in their backyards, and they're mad.
Examine closely whether the building of this mosque is right for this community. I personally say no to Sharia law and this Muslim center.
How can you serve and protect us when you can't even tell us about a proposed mosque in our backyard?
It was a full house tonight at the Mooresville Commissioners meeting as the town considers a new mosque.
Do we know how big it is?
5,000 square feet.
So is that big for mosque standards?
I don't think
because sometimes you've got these mosques that are like
enormous,
huge.
Yeah. But the point is that the town council didn't tell them anything about this in advance. They sprung it on them.
Yep.
And B, this is going to be put into a residential area that had somehow gotten a clearance to be a religious place. So now in their neighborhood, they're going to have this call to prayer.
Oh, can you imagine? Was that five times a day?
5 times a day.
How long is that call to prayer? Do we know? Like, is that just like one?
Can I just tell you that 1 second of it is too long?
No. And I totally agree with that because the entire neighborhood is going to hear the call to prayer. How long is?
Did you just find out, Sam?
Yeah, the adhan, or the Islamic call to prayer, it lasts about 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh,
can
my
you
gosh.
imagine? How loud? I'm curious because you know what you hear it on YouTube. Like people will post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But you don't know what has been like manipulated from an audio standpoint, so you don't know what's real and what's not. But I've seen YouTube videos and on X as well where it is loud. And why does it have to be 3 to 5 minutes? Like, did they not hear it in the first 5 seconds?
It's part of the process, Dan. It's also why it has to be 5 times a day, apparently.
Man, I'd be mad too if this was.
Oh, I would be furious.
Yeah.
Just imagine the thing that I kind of key in on is imagine being a veteran who was over there,
Yes.
who heard that, and then later on in the day, one of your buddies got blown up.
Right. Oh, I
Right
bet
in
that
front of you.
for some veterans who were in Iraq and Afghanistan, they hear that and it probably triggers some memories.
7732 church bells. Yeah, church bells are a pleasing sound.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
and it's
there's
not-
no other way to say that.
It's not 5 times a day every
Yeah.
day. It's for special occasions, and it's literally in the immediate vicinity. The call to prayer is meant to be broadcast over an entire town.
Yeah, and church bells, it's on Sunday, right?
Or a wedding or something.
Or
to that
wedding,
effect.
something, yeah.
Something, beautiful and worth building towards.
Well, I would just, for an example, play the call to prayer for folks, but I'm just not going to do it.
No.
Not going to do it.
If you think Corey Bush made your ears bleed. Sorry.
Next.
Okay, so next, this is just a funny video about the future of interpersonal communications that AI is bringing into our future.
Cashier has asked me how it's going. How do I respond? Keep it short and light. Try something like good and you.
He said good and you. What do I say to that?
Perhaps offer to assist him with something like,
Are you looking for something I can help with?
Yeah, so what's great about this is the younger generation, well, and perhaps the older generation too, they're having trouble with small talk.
Yeah.
That there's a whole article, I don't remember where I read it, but the younger generation, if they're not communicating with or on their phones, they don't know how to communicate.
They don't know how to communicate, yeah.
What items am I collecting?
The items you should collect depend on your needs.
What are my needs?
Needs can vary, but the most common are health, food, shelter, and companionship.
Do you have companionship?
What aisle is companionship?
Oh my God, what aisle is companionship?
Yeah.
That's usually what you see in like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Parumph. Do you know what that means, Sam? Well, actually, I should probably ask Joan. I bet Joan doesn't know what Parumph is.
Parumph is where Art Bell broadcast his show.
Yeah, but I think that's where all the I can say this at 547.
Yeah, that's where all the
that's where all the ladies of the night.
Yeah,
that's where you've got companionship aisle 5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. All right.
Oh, the concubines, you say?
I think that this
is that what you call? No,
No.
A concubine is.
Or is that more of a slave thing?
I would say prostitutes. Like, let's say it like it is.
Hookers, Sam. Hookers.
Hookers.
It's not that hard, dude.
Yeah.
Concubines. All right, Sam, you're 0 for 2 today. Number 1, you don't know what a concubine is, and you didn't have my audio up earlier, but you did come up with the whole Jones World thing, so you're forgiven on all
He's
of it.
Forgiven.
All right.
Totally.
Anyway, but I have noticed that about the younger generation.
Yeah. They don't know how to talk to each other.
They don't know how to talk to each
They
other.
also don't make eye contact. It's like they're afraid to. Now, yesterday.
But what age are we talking about? Are we talking about like 13, 14, 15? Are we talking about like 20-year-olds?
I think 20-year-olds.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you that.
Yesterday, my husband and I went golfing, and 2 young kids came up, and I would say they're probably just starting high school, maybe sophomores. And they said, "Hey, can we play with you guys?" And we were like, "Yeah." These kids were so cool. They talked to us. They were like encouraging about each other's shots. They were a lot of fun to play with. And I thought, wow, like how often does this happen? It doesn't really happen that often.
Do you know what? We had a kid here at the radio station. His name was AJ, and he was young, like early 20s. Same thing you're talking about. So, really cool, talkative, would look at you in the eye. So I think that, there are some that are so completely clueless they don't know how to communicate, but there are others who my opinion, probably had a fairly decent conservative upbringing.
Yes, their
And
parents knew what to do.
Their parents knew what to do. That is exactly right.
Don't just give them a phone and put them in a room and say, "Don't bother me."
Yeah. Every once in a while, in my house, it'll be like, "Hey, does Riker want a hamburger or whatever?" And Amy will say, "Cause I'll be in like one part of the house, or we'll be in one part of the house, and he'll be up in another part of the house." And Amy will be like, "Why don't you text him and see if he wants a hamburger?" It's like he's literally up the stairs. I'm going to, because Amy's younger too, so she's part of that.
Yeah.
So I will walk my sorry butt upstairs and say, "Hey, Riker, would you like a hamburger?" And then as I'm standing there, he'll send me a text on my phone and say yes.
Do you remember the old
totally
school?
kidding.
You remember the old school PA systems that houses used to have?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
That's something my wife and I are talked about. If we get to build a house, that we're going to have something like that set up in there. No texting. You're going to hear me in the walls.
See,
in the walls.
But Amy and I just scream at each other. That's our PA
That works.
system.
You want extra cheese on this?
Where's the ketchup? That kind of thing. These are things that are heard in my house. All right, last but not least, Sophie Cunningham can sing.
Listen to this.
All right, so this is apparently Sophie Cunningham.
She's in a church.
No, it's not a good look, need some self-control.
Well, she's got it going on.
Deep down, I know this never works, but you can lay with me so it doesn't hurt. Oh, won't you stay with me?
Listen to her.
'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see.
Wow.
I know, right?
She's better than Martha from Martha and the Vandells.
Oh, she's way better
Remember
than
that
Martha.
whole thing? Was
Oh,
that
yeah.
yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Really, really impressive.
Yeah. She's just got it all going on.
Boy, she sure does.
Yeah.
Did you hear? I'm going to do this in more context later, but real quickly. Angel Reese. Do you know who Angel Reese is?
Yes.
So Angel Reese.
Professional bricklayer.
Angel Reese says that she's black, that when she was growing up, she didn't have dolls that looked like her. Now, obviously, she's trying to say that America's racist, right? I mean, that's what she's trying to say. So, of course, people are like, there have been black dolls since like the late 60s, early 70s.
Christy was Barbie's black friend.
Yes.
1968.
That's okay, very good. I've got it all here somewhere, but you have by the early 2000s, and again, she was born in 2002. By the early 2000s, you had a huge doll market that specifically catered to black families.
Yep.
So, Angel, you might want to talk to your parents. They refused, apparently, to buy you a black doll.
She was clearly, her parents didn't treat her well. She probably didn't have any other toys either.
Well, she probably had a basketball.
Yeah. Well, she
at
may
least
have had that. Yeah.
And also, part of that, you know what? I'll do my WNBA thing coming up after the news at 6. Because, and by the way, I want people to understand that when we talk about, or when I talk about the WNBA, it's not because I'm talking about the WNBA. It's because it's actually woke versus right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what is happening to Sophie Cunningham and what is happening to Caitlin Clark, you know, it should be criminal because they are being assaulted on the basketball court. But it's about the wokery that is happening in America today, and that is emblematic there in the WNBA. And so we're watching the WNBA crumble as we speak. And what I personally love about this is that people on our side are challenging the WNBA. And they're saying, okay, so if you're so woke, if you really value, you know, men and women's sports, well, then why don't you? And that's where we will pick up this story coming up after the news at 6 here on Super Talk 99.7.